You've been lied to your whole life. And if you've stopped touching yourself after 60, you could be paying a price you never imagined. I'm Dr. Charles Bennett, a men's health specialist who's worked with thousands of older men across America. Veterans, factory workers, truck drivers, men who've lived through it all. And I'm here to tell you, this isn't just about pleasure. It's about protecting your nerves, your hormones, your prostate, and even your mind. Every year, I see men over 60 develop problems they could have avoided. Erectile dysfunction, swollen prostates, depression, simply because they believed the myth that after a certain age, this doesn't matter anymore. But it does. In fact, the science is crystal clear. Your sexual health is a key part of your overall health. Stay with me, because in this video, I'm going to reveal the 3 silent consequences of giving up masturbation after 60, and 3 powerful ways to restore your function, your drive, and your vitality before it's too late. Somewhere along the way, society told us that after 60, a man's sexuality is supposed to fade into the background. Maybe it was the way our fathers aged. Maybe it's the silence in the doctor's office. Or maybe it's just the culture. This unspoken message that once you've raised your family and retired, intimacy doesn't matter anymore. But here's the truth. That belief is dead wrong, and it's costing men their health. I've been in urology for over 3 decades, and I can tell you with certainty, your body doesn't have an expiration date on pleasure or function. What no one tells you is that self-stimulation, when done consciously, isn't just about release. It's part of maintaining your nervous system, keeping your blood vessels open, and supporting healthy hormone levels. Letting it all shut down isn't a sign of dignity or wisdom. It's a slow surrender of parts of yourself you might not get back. And the worst part? Most men don't even realize the damage until it's well underway. In the next part, I'll share the story of one man, a proud Navy veteran, who thought he was just aging naturally. But what was really happening nearly cost him his vitality, his confidence, and his marriage. Jack was 67 when he came to see me. A Navy veteran, the kind of man who could fix an engine with his eyes closed, who'd been married for over 4 decades. After his wife passed, he told himself he was done with that part of life. No dating, no intimacy, no touching himself. He thought it was the dignified way to age. At first, nothing seemed wrong. But within 2 years, things started to change. Jack noticed he wasn't sleeping as well. His energy tanked. He had trouble getting and keeping an erection, something he never struggled with before. Then came the night trips to the bathroom, the weak urine flow, and the unsettling news. His prostate was enlarged and inflamed. When we ran his labs, his testosterone was low. He confessed to feeling less motivated, more isolated, even a little depressed. "Doc," he said, "I thought I was just getting old, but I don't feel like myself anymore." Jack's story isn't unique. I've seen it happen to firefighters, truckers, teachers, and farmers. The truth is, when you completely stop sexual activity, including masturbation, after 60, you're removing one of your body's natural maintenance systems. And the cost isn't just physical. It touches your mood, your memory, your confidence, even your will to get out of bed in the morning. Next, I'll reveal the 3 silent consequences that most men never hear about until it's too late. You might think skipping masturbation after 60 is harmless, but the truth? There are 3 major silent consequences. Consequences that don't announce themselves until health is already slipping away. Secret 1: nerve desensitization and loss of sensitivity. Your nervous system doesn't lie. Use it or lose it. If sexual stimulation disappears, Sensory signals between the genitals and the brain begin to fade. That can lead to anorgasmia, difficulty or inability to orgasm, and delayed ejaculation. Or worse, the brain stops responding at all, even if stimulation returns. This condition resembles what doctors call PIED, porn-induced erectile dysfunction, though it may occur from disuse alone. In men over 60, these changes are more than an annoyance. They affect quality of life, confidence, and intimacy. Clinical literature confirms that prolonged absence of stimulation rewires the nervous system toward higher thresholds of arousal, making normal touch feel numb. Once that response fades, rebuilding it can take months or even years under proper retraining. Secret 2: prostate congestion and inflammation. Think of ejaculation as a drain for your prostate. Without regular release, whether through sex or masturbation, the gland can become congested. Data from reproducible studies supports this. Men who ejaculate once a week or less report significantly more prostatitis symptoms than those who release more often. Plus, long-term research following tens of thousands of men found that those ejaculating 21+ times per month, roughly 5 per week, saw up to 31% lower risk of prostate cancer compared to men ejaculating 4 to 7 times per month. Medical consensus: frequent ejaculation is linked to lower inflammation, reduced toxin accumulation, and possibly better prostate immune defense. In practical terms, congestion can lead to enlarged prostate symptoms, weak or interrupted urine flow, frequent nighttime trips to the bathroom, even pelvic discomfort. In older men, this often worsens sleep and fuels fatigue. Secret 3: hormonal decline and cognitive slowdown. Sexual stimulation, masturbation included, triggers release of key hormones: testosterone, dopamine, oxytocin, endogenous endorphins. These support mood, motivation, mental clarity, and cardiovascular regulation. Without regular release, testosterone tends to decline faster in aging men, compounding muscle loss, low energy, low libido, and depressive symptoms. However, low activity levels often coincide with a downward spiral: less movement, worse sleep, more stress, and that accelerates age-related cognitive decline. Studies on orgasms confirm stress hormones drop, sleep improves, and overall mood lifts afterward. So when sexual activity disappears, those benefits vanish too, and the risk of depression and memory issues rises. Why these consequences stay silent? 1. They develop slowly, often over years. 2. They're mistaken for normal aging. 3. They're rarely discussed. Masturbation after 60 is still taboo in many doctor visits. 4. Men don't connect the dots. Few realize it's tied to nerve health, hormonal balance, and prostate function. These are the 3 silent costs of quitting something you may have thought didn't matter anymore. And now that you know them, you can avoid a costly mistake when trying to start again. A mistake that could actually make things worse. Once men learn about the risks of giving up sexual activity, the first reaction is often, "All right, I'll just start again." But here's the problem. Most go about it the wrong way, and it ends up making things worse. After years without stimulation, your brain and body adapt to that silence. If you suddenly return to the same old mechanical, rushed masturbation you might have done in your 20s or 40s, you're actually training your nervous system the wrong way. Doctors call this stimulus conditioning. It's how the brain learns to expect a certain type, speed, and pattern of sensation before it will trigger arousal or orgasm. When stimulation is too fast, too forceful, and always the same, the brain stops responding to slower, more natural contact, the kind you would experience with a partner. This can lead to erectile instability, erections that start but fade quickly. Delayed climax, requiring stronger and stronger stimulation to finish. Loss of connection, feeling aroused in the body but not emotionally engaged. For men over 60, there's another factor. Aging nerve tissue takes longer to adapt. If you retrain it poorly, you can lock yourself into a pattern that's even harder to break than simply not doing it at all. I've seen it happen to countless men. They try to jump-start their sex life, but without guidance, they end up frustrated, thinking they're broken. The truth is, they're just using the wrong approach for the stage of life their body is in. In the next chapter, I'll give you the 3 science-backed techniques to not only restart, but to restore sexual function in a way that protects your prostate, your hormones, and your confidence. If you've stopped and you've started noticing the signs, weaker erections, less sensation, more bathroom trips at night, lower mood, there's good news. The body has a remarkable ability to adapt and recover, even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. But you need the right approach. Secret 5. Practice mindful masturbation. Most men were never taught this. Mindful masturbation means slowing down, focusing on sensation, and retraining your brain to respond to subtler, more natural stimulation. Why it matters? Over the years, many men condition their brains to only respond to high-speed, high-pressure stimulation. This creates a disconnect between solo habits and partner intimacy. Mindful techniques rebuild the connection. How to do it? Choose a time when you're not rushed. Use your hand or a gentle aid, but start at half your usual speed and pressure. Pay attention to breathing. Deep, slow breaths help engage the parasympathetic nervous system, which supports erection quality. Avoid goal-oriented thinking. The aim is not to finish fast, but to feel more. Studies show that mindfulness-based sexual retraining improves erection control and orgasm satisfaction, particularly in older men with erectile instability. Secret 6. Vary stimulation and positions. Just like a workout routine, your sexual system benefits from variety. Why it matters. When stimulation is always the same, the nervous system narrows its arousal template. This means fewer pathways trigger arousal, making performance with a partner more difficult. How to do it? Change grip strength, hand position, rhythm, and even your environment. Try lying down, sitting, or standing. Some men find that simulating the pace and rhythm of partner sex helps keep nerves tuned for real intimacy. Pro tip: avoid excessive pornography, especially material with rapid scene changes, as it trains the brain for overstimulation, which real-life intimacy can't match. Secret 7. Integrate into your men's health routine. Solo sexual activity isn't a guilty habit. It's part of maintaining male health after 60. Why it matters? Ejaculation clears the prostate, sexual arousal boosts circulation to the pelvic floor, and orgasm releases hormones that support mood and sleep. These benefits add up over time. How to do it? Treat it like other self-care habits. Exercise, hydration, good nutrition. Aim for a frequency that feels natural and sustainable. For many men, that's 2 to 4 times per week, but it varies. Supporting factors: combine it with regular cardiovascular exercise, strength training, and stretching. These improve blood flow, nerve function, and hormone balance, amplifying the benefits. I've had patients in their late 70s who thought they were done with intimacy. With these steps, many regained not just function, but confidence. Enough to date again, rekindle intimacy with a partner, or simply feel more alive day to day. Next, we'll wrap it all together in a simple, powerful summary you can remember and use starting today. Let's make this simple. You've heard the stories, the science, and the steps. Now, here's what it all comes down to. When you stop all sexual activity, including masturbation, after 60, 3 silent but serious changes can begin. Your nerves lose sensitivity, making arousal and orgasm harder to achieve. Your prostate becomes congested, leading to urinary issues, inflammation, and higher cancer risk. Your hormones and mind slow down together, lowering testosterone, mood, and mental sharpness. These aren't theories. They're patterns I've seen in veterans, truck drivers, teachers, mechanics, farmers, men who've spent a lifetime building, protecting, and leading, only to watch their vitality fade faster than it had to. The good news? You can reverse much of the damage with the right approach. Mindful masturbation, slow, intentional, and focused on sensation. Varied stimulation, changing pace, grip, and position to keep your nervous system adaptable. Routine integration, treating sexual activity as part of your health maintenance, just like exercise and diet. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about preserving your independence, your confidence, and the part of you that still feels alive, driven, and capable. The truth is, it's not just about pleasure. It's about protecting function, fighting the decline of aging, and keeping life pulsing through you well past 60. If you've watched this far, you already know. You carry a truth that most men your age never hear. And now you have a choice. You can continue to believe what society has told you, that sexuality after 60 doesn't matter, and watch the slow decline set in. Or you can take control, protect your nerves, keep your hormones active, and protect your prostate health. Here's what I want you to do next. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications, because in my next video, the shocking truth about masturbation after 60, we'll delve deeper into how to restore the connection between natural self-intimacy, immune strength, and emotional well-being without taking risky shortcuts. Also, watch the shocking truth about weak erections after 60. See, share this video with a friend, a brother, or a fellow veteran, someone who needs to hear that this phase of life isn't over yet. Leave a comment below. Did you notice changes in your health after stopping sexual activity? What happened when you tried to start again? Your experience may help another man find his way back. I've spent over 3 decades working with men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s, and I can tell you, those who remain committed to their sexual health live with more energy, more clarity, and more purpose. They don't just age, they age on their own terms. You have a body, a mind, and a life. Don't let anyone tell you it's too late to feel alive again, because it's not. And now, you know exactly where to start.